These guys, take control of 2026. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. Fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. Fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. Or call 800-510-MIKE. That's 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans. Mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers. DBA Fellowship Home Loans. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 819382.
A turbulent day in court in the UK for a member of Britain's royal family in an eavesdropping lawsuit. Correspondent Brian Melly is in London.
I'm standing outside London's High Court where Prince Harry wrapped up his testimony in his phone hacking lawsuit against the publisher, the Daily Mail. Harry began the day under cross-examination, striking a defensive and at times combative tone, but he ended the day nearly in tears. Harry is one of several famous claimants, including Elton John, who allege Associated Newspapers Limited used unlawful tactics to snoop on their lives for years. Harry says the tabloid stories caused great distress and paranoia beyond belief. Harry became emotional today at the end of his testimony as he discussed the toll the case had taken on his life and his family, saying it had been an utter misery for his wife, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
The Daily Mail publisher denies the allegations, calling them preposterous. News and analysis, townhall.com. A Canadian man has posed as a commercial pilot and a flight attendant to obtain free flights from U.S. airlines.
Authorities say 33-year-old Dallas Pekornik of Toronto pleading not guilty following his extradition. He was arrested in Panama after being indicted on wire fraud charges in federal court in Hawaii last fall. Now, court documents say Pekornik used fake employee identification to obtain tickets that were reserved for pilots and flight attendants on 3 different airlines over 4 years. The indictment does not identify those airlines. Jason Walker reporting.
The Supreme Court appears inclined to keep Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook in her job. The justices have heard arguments over President Trump's effort to fire Cook for alleged mortgage fraud. She denies any wrongdoing. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And good morning. Welcome to the John Fredericks Radio Network. We are indeed broadcasting the Michael Patrick Leahy Show from Nashville, Tennessee. It is Thursday, which is a delightful day because we have in studio for hour one the original All-Star panelist, Crom Carmichael. Good morning, Crom.
Greetings, kind sir.
Crom, it's time for the morning rundown, brought to you every day at this time, our friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go. Here's the morning rundown for Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. Number one, Donald Trump announces a framework of a deal for the U.S. to acquire certain parts of Greenland. Number two, more reaction to Trump's masterclass, Who's Your Daddy speech to the Davos crowd. Number three, Steve Bannon calls it the greatest nationalist speech in the history of the world since Pericles of Athens. Oh, I love that quote. Number four, J.D. Vance headed into Minnesota. Number five, Michelle Tafoya, the former NFL sideline reporter, will be running for the Senate in Minnesota as a Republican. Number five, Tom Pappert will join us in hour two with some news about State Senator Brent Taylor. It's a fun story. Number six in hour three, Aaron Gulbinson. We'll talk about all that's going on in the Tennessee General Assembly. It's been a real lightning round, and they're getting a lot done. Number seven, Crom, you'll like this one. The Oversight Committee, the House Oversight Committee, yesterday voted to, in a bipartisan vote, voted to charge both Clintons, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, with contempt of Congress. It's going to go on to a full vote in the House. Number eight, an appeals court slaps down a Biden-appointed federal district court judge, and now tear gas used by ICE is okay. Number nine, the one, the only John Fredericks will join us in our next segment with a live report from the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C. So there you go. Crom, that's the morning rundown. Would you like to know who it's brought to you by?
Of course.
Every day, it's brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store. My good friend Lenny McGill, you know, you've been hearing me talk about him for many years. The Glock Store, the aptly named Glock Store, that's where you go for everything Glock. Have you heard, Crom, about the latest Glocks, the Gen 6 Glocks. Yeah,
I have from you.
from me. Yeah.
Yes.
So we figured out Gen 6 stands for the sixth generation because we're really smart.
Yes, yeah. With no help, you figured that out.
Lenny tells me the new Gen 6 Glocks have a new optic system, RTF6 texturing, an enlarged beaver tail, flat-face trigger guard undercut, and an integrated thumb rest, also known as the gas pedal. I don't know exactly what all those things are. Lenny McGill does. Lenny tells me the Gen 6 Glocks are definitely the most refined Glocks ever produced. And as you might expect, the Glock store has already received their first shipment of Gen 6 G17s, G19s, and G45s, and they were literally gone before they even arrived at the warehouse. That's because Glock store is letting you pre-order these new Glocks, so you'll be the one to get your hands on these first. And as a thank you for your pre-order, you'll get an extra magazine when you receive your new Gen 6 Glock. Now, Crom, here's what you do. Go to Glockstore.com. That's pretty easy to do, right? Click on the Gen 6 tab at the top of the website. You're doing a great job illustrating this, Crom. Very well. For those of you who are watching, you're doing a great job. How to do it. Place your pre-order for the Glock or Glocks of your choice. When they ship your new Glock to the FFL of your choice, or you pick it up at the Glock store or retail showroom here in Nashville, the Glock store will throw in an extra magazine. Now, this is a limited time offer, Crom. Only for pre-orders and only from my friends at the Glock store, the #1 source for Glock parts, accessories, and the new Gen 6 Glocks. Visit Glockstore.com today. I promise you'll be glad you did. And tell them Michael Patrick Leahy and Crom Carmichael said hello. All right, Crom, there we go. Crom, that speech by Trump was fabulous. It's interesting. He was on Air Force One. There was some kind of mechanical problem. They had to turn around, go back, pick up another plane.
Yeah.
They land in Davos. They land in Davos. He comes out of that place, hitting the ground running, and he delivers this 1-hour speech. Here's what Steve Bannon said about that speech. Clip 1.
If you're a globalist, you just think that Trump flew into Davos and went full gangster. If you're a nationalist, it's the greatest speech since Pericles at Athens. There's no middle ground here. Now, President Trump says, yes, we're going to work together, et cetera, but he gave you a nationalist perspective of working, from a nationalist perspective of working within a community of nations.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a nationalist perspective working within a community of nations. He's not some rogue guy out there, but he's saying, it's interesting. We had so many clips of him talking to the Europeans about how stupid they are. Well, they are stupid. I mean, let's be honest. They're letting in all these migrants who hate them and giving them welfare.
What do you think Trump's when he gives speeches like this, or thinks like this? What do you think his greatest insight is? Where does it come from?
He's just innately has common sense from a 7 decades of being in business.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I think that Trump has a greater perspective and understanding of the history and thinking behind the history in Europe going back 1,500 years. Because Europe has a profound and deep history of doing well and then shooting itself in the foot.
Yeah, well, of course, his mother was from Scotland.
Okay.
And then his father was German. I think it was his grandfather who came over from Germany.
Okay.
And I think his father was born here in the States, but just a few years after his grandfather arrived.
Yeah, but it's really interesting because in the last few years I have become very, very interested in history. Before that, I was very, very interested in economics, but in economic history, primarily in the United States.
Right. But Crom, I've known you for 35 years?
Yeah.
You've been interested in history from day one.
Well, but not in the sense of my history that I've been interested in has been economic history.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But this is
You're a big fan of Adam Smith.
This is political history, and the political history of Europe is one where where if the Europeans, and I'm going to use this expression carefully here, if they're not slapped around from time to time to do the right thing, they inherently fall back and do the wrong thing.
That's a good point. Speaking of being slapped around.
Yeah.
Speaking of being slapped around, Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton.
Yes.
And former Secretary of State and former First Lady Hillary Clinton are about to be slapped around by the Congress of the United States. Here's James Comer. They've been charged out of the Oversight Committee with contempt of Congress. Let's play this clip right now. Clip 2.
On the Hillary R. Clinton contempt report.
Well, not audio there, but they're showing the votes, and basically, yeah.
What was the vote?
The vote was like 38-4 for against Bill.
Okay.
And that's enough.
Have all members been recorded who wish to be recorded?
Oh, let's get the number here.
Does any member wish to change their vote?
It was like 30-14 for Hillary, something like that.
Seeing none, the clerk will close the vote and report the vote total.
Well, let's get the vote. How was it?
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 28, the nays are 15.
There you go, 28-15. 28-15, that was for Hillary, 28-15.
Okay.
It was like 38-4 for Bill. And they now, if the House, as a body, cites contempt of court, it'll go to the Department of Justice. They will be prosecuted.
Yeah.
Contempt of Congress.
They're going to have to testify.
Yeah.
They're going to have to testify with no sweet
Hey, guess
deals.
what? We got a special treat. Maybe, if all goes well.
Ooh.
John Fredericks
okay.
may be joining us when we get back live from the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C. Back after this.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from Gloucester, Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. Hell, you may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Crom, well, it appears we have a special guest, the one, the only John Fredericks, who owns all of these radio stations and is the pioneer, the only America First independent network in the country. John Fredericks, good morning. You're at the RNC today. Tell me what's going on.
So I'm at the RNC. Are you getting my audio?
Yeah, you're good.
Hang on.
We're good. You're good, John.
Okay. All right.
You're
I'm
always
at the
good,
RNC winter meeting, and this is in Santa Barbara, California. Lots of hobnobbing going on here, really, but I think what the Republican National Committee is focused on is how they're going to mobilize the Trump base to be competitive in the midterms. And I say competitive because we all kind of know if the election were held today, we're going to get blown out. But the economy is roaring back. People can feel it. They're starting to see it. The one big, beautiful bill on the horizon. We're going to get people are going to get the biggest tax rebates they've ever had in history. That is going to put a lot of money in people's pockets. The tax decreases in tips and overtime and Social Security, all is going to manifest itself back. And the economy booming, 5% growth. So a lot of great things happening. But the bottom line is the base has got to get energized. And I think the Republican National Committee leadership realizes that right now they're not. And so they've got to figure this out. So that's what a lot of the focus has been, a lot of the side conversations on. One of the things they're going to do, President Trump has proposed, and Mike Johnson, the speaker, has agreed to it, is a unique midterm convention where we will have a gathering like a nominating convention like we had in Cleveland or Milwaukee, but a midterm convention in order to energize the base, get people fired up, make people understand how great the stakes are, because everybody knows if the Democrats take the House, Trump's presidency is over, Mike. They're going to impeach him on the third day. There's going to be hearing after hearing after hearing. Nothing is going to get done. And one of the big things also is the president thinks that in order to get his agenda across, that the Republicans in the Senate are going to have to give up on the 60-vote filibuster cloture rule. I mean, without that, they're not going to get everything done. We're looking at another government shutdown on January 31 coming up. So the stakes here for Republicans, Mike, are probably higher than ever.
John, is it the consensus that if the election were held today, that there would be a blowout and the Democrats would take control of the House of Representatives?
Yeah, I think if you look at the polling numbers and you look at the fact that a lot of the MAGA base is de-energized for whatever reason, I think that's what you're looking at. Also, the redistricting battle rages on, but looks like we're going to lose the Staten Island seat in the New York delegation. That's what it appears a judge just said that district is unconstitutional. So that's going to get redrawn.
That was
Obviously,
a district.
Democrats going to win that.
Federal district judge, right? They'll be challenged, though.
Yeah,
I think that
it'll be challenged, but it's still a specter. We've also got 4 possible seats in Virginia that are likely to go. The legal challenges I rate right now at under 50%. There's a referendum that'll come up in April. If that vote were held today, the Democrats would win that 75-25 because there's no opposition now in Virginia. There's no apparatus to defeat it. It's going to pass 70-30, 72-28. It's going to get crushed. So that is going to, give the Democrats another 4 possible seats. But there's other seats that we have to pick up, New Hampshire being one of them. And as I broke in my news yesterday, Corey Lewandowski seriously considering now a run for governor against Kelly Ayotte because there's a seat in New Hampshire, District 1, that they can redistrict right now. That'll become a Republican seat. Ayotte is blocking it. Lewandowski threatening a primary challenge. And I got to tell you, I know Corey a long time. I take Corey Lewandowski very seriously. If he says he's seriously looking at it, he's looking at it. And if he takes her on, he beats her. So this is all these things are in play. We'll have to see how it works out. But I love the idea, Mike, of a midterm convention. You and I need to be there. We need to give it coverage because we got to fire up the base.
Where will the midterm convention be held?
I guess we're going to find out. I don't have enough.
I have a suggestion.
Nashville.
Nashville, Tennessee. Don't you think?
Bingo, baby.
Yeah.
Nashville.
You tell him that, if you would. Crom Carmichael is here in studio.
I think you guys got you have the infrastructure, you have the hotels, the city is booming. I think it'd be fantastic. It should be in Nashville. I think that will be fun. But I think the first thing they have to do on Friday, I understand, is they're putting it to a vote by the RNC leadership, which each state and territory has 3 representatives, a chairman, a national committee man, and a national committee woman. They'll vote on it. And I think it's going to be an exciting thing. I think the president's vision for that is spot on because you have to be able to get the base fired up. And look, what is going to help a little bit is arrests. Our base is depressed because nothing is happening out of Pam Bondi's office. Now, I understand today they just arrested 2 of the church protest leaders, Mike, in Minneapolis. That's going to help. But one thing that they've got to understand in the apparatus of the White House political operation is lack of accountability coming out of Pam Bondi's office is having a depressing effect on getting base turnout, which without that in November, we're going to get crushed. So we need to energize our base. Part of that is the midterm convention idea, but we got to see Pam Bondi take action.
Crom Carmichael, do you have a question for John?
Well, I think John's points are right on. that the base, because the election will not be because the Democrats are doing great. It'll be because Republicans don't turn out to vote, and that's always the risk because the Democrats have so much more money to spend on midterms than Republicans do. So that's the challenge is there. It's Trump and the officials recognize it, and so I really do like the idea of a midterm convention.
John Fredericks, are you being received differently at the RNC this time than you were, let's say, 4 years ago?
What a great. How much time do we have? Are we running up against the break?
We got 4 minutes. Just take them all.
What a great question. Yes and no. Yes and no. The yes is the White House political operation really understands how effective I've been for them on the trail with the bus tours. That's why they sent me to Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a lot of credit for working with Ashley Walukovich in Whitting, Pennsylvania. I spent, 3 months there, going around the state. So from the political White House operation, 10. There are still vestiges of the old RNC that really don't like me, and don't like Ann either, which is, she's angelic, so I don't get that. For instance, I'll just give you an example. We were the guests of my chairman in D.C., Patrick Mara, who's the chairman of the D.C. GOP. You're allowed to bring 2 guests. We were his guests. And of course, they called me up ahead of time to be sure that I wasn't going to, broadcast live in the hallway and things of that nature that really upset them when I went to Vegas, and they wouldn't let us in. So Ann got a suite upstairs, and we were bringing in all the malcontents in the party, and they were coming up and telling everybody exactly what was going on. So they are very mad at that. So we went to get our credentials, right? This is like Tuesday night, and they got pulled. They pulled our credentials. So I called up Patrick Mara, and I'm like, hey, they pulled my credentials. Like, I can't do anything about it. So they wouldn't give us credentials. So I had to go to my friends in the comms department at the RNC, Molly Safried, who took care of it. And we still don't have credentials, but she escorted us in wherever we wanted to go. So yes and no, but they did try to throw us out. Yet once again,
I know,
even
crazy.
though I get other people on, and I love Joe Grudis, he comes on my show all the time, but there's a lot of bad blood. The thing in Vegas we did really upset a lot of the old guard, because they kicked us out, and Andrew said, well, I'll fix
me
that.
a river. We got to get things done.
Got a suite.
John Frederick.
And got a suite upstairs and got them all in.
Thanks so much for
it's all
your
good.
on-the-ground report from the RNC committee meeting in Santa Barbara, California. John, thanks for joining us today.
Great questions, Mike. Thank you.
All right.
I'll see you soon.
Back with Crom Carmichael after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
It's simple. No worker should ever be forced to pay money to a union boss just to get or keep a job. That's why hardworking Virginians overwhelmingly support right to work and agree that forced unionism is wrong. Unfortunately, right to work is under threat from radical state legislators who seek to overturn right to work and grant union bosses the power to have workers fired for refusing to pay union dues. Studies show that if they succeed in repealing Virginia's right to work law, it would cost the Commonwealth over 200,000 jobs. That's why it's vital to tell your legislators and Governor Abigail Spanberger to defend right to work in Virginia. With the General Assembly now in session, it's vital you make your voice heard today. Go to VirginiaRightToWork.com and demand your legislators and Governor Spanberger oppose forced unionism and protect right to work. Defend freedom and Virginia jobs today. Sign your petition at virginiarighttowork.com, paid for by the National Right to Work Committee.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Crom, Donald Trump at Davos. He just commanded the entire event.
Well, you know, the Davos event is essentially over 2 issues now that are both kind of related. One is Greenland, and then the other is that the European countries doing what they have promised to do. They have a history of promising to do something and then not fulfilling the promise.
Right.
And so Trump is calling them out on that. But Greenland, when you have the head of NATO, who's also acknowledging that Greenland is a strategic area of the world, that whole area is strategic, and that Europe can't defend it, I think Trump is going to end up getting his way. Now,
well, on that topic, I think you've analyzed this absolutely correctly. The head of NATO is a military guy who understands strategy.
Yeah.
The heads of the countries are bloomin' idiots and weaklings. And so basically he recognizes that. Here we go. Donald Trump, after he came in, everybody was worried. Are you going to invade Greenland? Are you going to invade Greenland? And of course, Germany and Norway and Denmark sent about 15 guys and a couple dog sleds in to defend Denmark, and they think Trump's going to be worried about that.
You know, when they do something like that, it actually supports Trump.
It does, because it's so performative.
Well, it's Saturday Night Live-ish Babylon Bee. I mean, it's almost silly. It is just silly, but they don't think it is silly.
You saw this clip. I think you're talking about the Prime Minister of Finland.
Yes.
So let me set it up, and you'll be the reporter asking the follow-up question. So the President of Finland, nice country, but it's a small company, has virtually no military, and he said, "Oh, we can defend Greenland," and the reporter asked this follow-up question.
How?
And the guy went,
And then 11 minutes later, he denied what he said earlier, and it was in the same forum.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It was in the same room, in the same venue. I mean, in other words, the same people. He denied that he said, and so they're feckless. They also are trying to figure out how to stand up against Trump for a reason that I don't understand. What is the point of standing up against the one country in NATO that must remain part of NATO?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the point? And the answer to me is, historically, Europeans do really stupid things when it comes to foreign policy. And I'm talking about going back centuries.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. So Trump master of the art of the deal, knows that he wants Greenland, and he has people speculating, oh, we'll send the military in there. So he goes in and he delivers this masterful hour-plus speech. And about midway through it, he says, no, we will not use military force to take Greenland. And there's this giant sigh of relief. But what you're witnessing is the art of the deal. And here's what he came out with after that. Let's go clip 12, and then we'll go 21. Clip 12.
Well, we have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them. And we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole, but also Greenland, and it has to do with the security, great security, strong security, and other things.
Okay, so now let's go on to this. So that he says the first thing is people are worried he's going to invade. Oh, we won't invade you. Then he's talking with the head of NATO, who is a smart guy, right?
Yeah.
And so they do a framework. Maria Bartiromo then, late yesterday, followed up and said, and he provided a little more details on this framework of a deal. Clip 21.
Well, I'm not going to have to pay anything. We're going to have total access to Greenland. We're going to have all military access that we want. We're going to be able to put what we need on Greenland because we want it. We're talking about national security and international security. So we're going to not have to pay anything other than the fact that we are building the Golden Dome, and the Golden Dome is going to be something that's going to be very amazing. It'll be Israel times probably 100. And we need it. I think we need it. And it's all going to be made in the United States. We have the best weapons in the world. We have the best companies in the world. We want them to produce faster. And, we've put a mandate out. You're going to have to produce faster, whether it's the Patriots or the Tomahawks or the F-35s or anything else.
Okay, so the rest of this deal, Crom, is, if you look at this big block of ice called Greenland, with little fringes of habitable land on the coasts, maybe 2%, 1% of the landmass is occupied by people.
Right.
All 58,000 of them.
Right. Yep.
So the deal is basically, I think what there's going to come out of it is, well, that 1% of the land where you've got 58,000 people, you can keep that 1%. We get the rest. It's going to be something like that.
Okay. Well, Trump will end up getting his way. And the point I'm trying to make here, Michael, is Trump's going to get his way because it makes sense.
Yeah.
You have presidents prior to this. We've had over 100 years where we have tried to buy Greenland.
Well, back in 1867, Crom, when William Seward bought Alaska from the Russians for $7 million. It was called Seward's Folly at the time.
Yep.
He also wanted to buy Greenland, which, is kind of a bookend, right, of the Arctic, and didn't do it. Harry Truman, after Denmark fell in 6 hours to the Nazis in 1940, we took over the protection of Greenland. And as Trump said in his speech, we stupidly gave it back to them. We should have kept it. Truman wanted to buy it then, but they wouldn't sell it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that we just should have kept it. But the idea that Denmark, first of all, Denmark went there and left.
Yeah.
The people who are in Greenland today are 90% of them are the indigenous people who've been there for.
They're the distant. They've been there since around 1200 A.D., 1300 A.D.
Yeah,
they're distant cousins of the Inuit of Alaska.
Of Alaska.
Yeah. So obviously we've got a connection.
Yeah, and the Danish government is doing nothing to protect Greenland, or nothing
really.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And
so here's the thing. Let's play this clip. Clip 4. The Danish foreign minister. Let's play Trump's view of the Danish foreign minister. Clip 4. I think we've got it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have it.
Not something that they are willing to discuss. So what will those negotiations
Well, they didn't tell me that, so when they tell me, because I don't like getting it secondhand, if he wants to tell me, he'll tell me that to my face.
And when will you be discussing this?
I have no idea. When you say
In other words, the Danish foreign, the Danes, if you see them, I mean, they brought them into the White House to talk. They're all upset, but they're afraid. They're afraid of Trump, and you can see it. They don't want to talk to him.
Well, they shouldn't be afraid of Trump physically, but they are afraid of Trump because they have no logical position to stand on, none. And Trump recognizes the importance of Greenland strategically, and Trump, as far as protecting, frankly, the Western Hemisphere and the United States. And so he's going to, and he is determined to get his way here. And the good news is that he doesn't have to go to Congress.
Here's clip 16. Byron York talks about what you've seen, this masterclass of the art of the deal from Donald Trump.
About it, I have to say this was kind of classic Trump, wasn't it? I mean, Trump wants something, and then he asks for 10 times that, and the other side flips out, and they go back and forth and go back and forth. It becomes a huge news story. Finally, they make an offer. He agrees to it, and it's kind of what they could have gotten in the first place.
And says they're wonderful people and happy to work with them, and suddenly it's this dismount that we could predict by how it's set up at the beginning.
Yes,
I think.
And the other side's happy.
So, Crom, your thoughts on this?
Well, it is classic Trump, and Trump can do this with he does it regularly. But what I wanted to do, Michael, is also the thing with Davos is you have two other people who showed up that I think is kind of interesting. Gavin Newsom, I think, decided to show up on his own.
The governor of California.
Governor of California, and he wanted to give a speech. He didn't get to give a speech. There's an area there it's called the America House, where all the American people are there.
The official American.
The official people, and Newsom wasn't official, so he wasn't allowed in. So he doesn't get to speak. He's not there in any official capacity, and so he's just wandering around hoping to get asked a question that he can give an intelligent answer. But since he's incapable of giving an intelligent answer on an important subject, he looks like an idiot.
Well, because he is an idiot.
Because he is an idiot. And
was there another idiot there?
And Al Gore. Al Gore.
Yeah, I saw he nobody's paying attention to him. So Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick at an event giving a speech. He's out in the crowd heckling Lutnick.
Al Gore is?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
I mean, how low has he fallen?
Well, he's he's never recovered from losing to Bush. He's never recovered from that emotionally.
Here's the thing.
And as he gets older, he's got I'm sure he's got something going up in his brain that makes him angry at
the angry old Al Gore.
Yeah.
So here's a little lesson for you. If you are out in a major political party and they nominate you to run for president and you lose, almost always it ends up destroying them. Mitt Romney is a shell of himself.
Yes.
Mike Dukakis was Al Gore. Oh my goodness.
John Kerry.
John
McCain.
Yeah, it destroys you.
Yeah,
if you lose.
The only person to lose that kind of handled it well. Trump did. Trump certainly did.
Special case.
And but Bob Dole.
Yeah.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole is a good man.
And Bob Dole then became kind of a comedian.
Yeah.
On certain ads. And it was very funny.
He was the first guy to do ED commercials.
Yeah, I'm saying.
he loses the presidency. He says, well, hell, I'll just make a ton of money.
Oh, yeah. And so,
that's what
but he did it in a funny way.
He was.
But you're right. Mitt Romney has never recovered. Michael Dukakis moved to Hawaii and became a professor.
Yeah.
And so it is.
When we come back, you've got some more about some craziness on the left.
Yeah.
We're going to set it up with the funniest thing that you've ever heard from Kid Rock talking about what's wrong with liberal women. Back after this.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Attorney General Miyares and John Fredericks talk about skill games.
They're unregulated slot machines.
They pop up in 7-Elevens in every corner of Virginia.
The General Assembly has spoken on this.
Skill games.
These things are illegal.
It's the Wild Wild West. Fights break out. Robberies increase.
Skill games.
They prey on the less fortunate.
I say it's a tax on the poor.
They're breaking the law.
My job is to enforce the law. These machines are not allowed.
Enforce the law and get them out of there.
When you see skill games, call the local sheriff.
These things are illegal.
Paid for by Churchill Downs.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pouty. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pouty.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pouty, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Crom, you know, there's a term out there that has been prominent on the right to talk about, and I'll call it awful.
Awful, yep.
Angry, affluent, white, female, urban liberals who've lost their minds, right? And, of course, the New York Times says, oh, it's awful to call them awful. Kid Rock, however, has a very different view on it. We'll play this clip right now.
When you play your concerts, do you ever see anybody with blue hair, armpit hair, female armpit hair? Some of these people we're looking at, kid, I don't know.
Man, listen, I was just watching your clips, and, you know, we have this low birth rate in America, and it all made sense to me. It just hit me right now, because who's going to sleep with these ugly-ass, broke, crazy, deranged, TDS liberal women? I mean, you look at these rallies, it's like a bunch of women that no guy wants to sleep with and a bunch of dudes that want to sleep with each other.
Okay, Crum. I thought that was funny. But the point is, Democrats have gone crazy, and you've got some examples, Sarah.
Well, yes, and this one is there's a court case. It's Hawaii versus something, but it's about Hawaii has imposed some very strict is trying to impose or pass some very strict gun laws, and so they're being challenged as unconstitutional. And Ketanji Brown Jackson is actually defending, as in her questioning, they brought up this thing that was called the Black Codes, and this was back in 1865 and 1866, where in the South, states passed laws that prohibited, the effect of it was to prohibit black people from owning guns. And they were struck down as constitutional because the Second Amendment is to protect, is so you can protect yourself either against others or against a government that is trying to destroy you. And Ketanji Brown Jackson was put in the position in order to defend the gun control laws in Hawaii of actually defending the very discriminatory laws that were passed in 1865 and 1866.
Weird. And Justice Alito actually had a few choice words for that in the oral argument. Let's play that clip right now from Justice Alito.
Mr. Katyal, wasn't the purpose of the laws in the post-Reconstruction South that disarmed black people precisely to prevent them from doing what the Second Amendment is designed to protect, which is to defend yourself against attacks? They wanted to disarm the black population in order to help the Klan terrorize them and law enforcement officers in that period, in that region. They wanted to put them at the mercy of racist law enforcement officers. So is it not the height of irony to cite a law that was enacted for exactly the purpose of preventing someone from exercising the Second Amendment right, to cite this as an example of what the Second Amendment protects?
But Ketanji Brown Jackson was actually defending the discriminatory laws against black people because she is so determined to give the government the power to regulate firearms. So that one's kind of interesting. This one borders on kind of humorous to me. There is a transgender former Space Force colonel named Bree Fram who is running now for Congress as a Democrat in the Democrat primary against an incumbent Democrat in Northern Virginia. And so my question is, and this is what he's saying here, this is a quote, a man's assertion that he is a woman is not consistent with the humility and selfishness required of a service member. That's what Trump said when he fired him of his job. The ousted colonel is seeking to defeat incumbent Democrat Virginia James Walkinshaw. Now, here's my question. If the incumbent is like all the other Democrats and stands up for trans, why doesn't that Democrat withdraw from the primary so that the trans person can win the primary? Why doesn't he do it?
Are you building the edifice of logic one brick at a time
in other words, this is how Democrats act. They're all in favor of using the law to oppose or control their opponents, but they don't want it to apply to them. This one is interesting. CBS News boss Barry Weiss is looking to figure out how to offload Gayle King.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've seen this story before, so it's popping up again. Gayle King makes, according to this story, $15 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And the economics of the news business and the legacy media is shrinking just because there's so many different choices and fragmentation. And so it no longer makes sense to be paying a personality that kind of money. And Gayle King won't relent. She won't back off of her money in order to help lower income people who work at CBS retain.
How long's your contract?
It doesn't say in here, but that's an interesting one. This one is
30 seconds.
41 military leaders have now signed a letter backing Mark Kelly. And these are former military leaders.
Former, yeah.
Which is like the 51 former intelligence
Got
agents
it.
that claim that,
He's
Hunter
going to run
Biden-
for president. I have a prediction.
I hope he does.
It's not going to go well.
I hope he does.
Crom Carmichael, thanks so much for joining us today.
You bet.
We'll see you next Thursday. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy, back with Tom Pappert and some craziness about Brent Taylor. Yeah, he sold a business, and now that business wants to disassociate themselves from him because he makes common sense. Back after this.
Is a record player the best way to listen to music? Of course not. So why are you still taking vitamins in pill form that haven't been upgraded since the 1930s? Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, most vitamins in pill form can't be absorbed very well. It's time to upgrade to the pill-free future of vitamins. Advanced nutrition company, Healthy Cell, created a patent-pending ingestible gel that is clinically proven to have 265% the absorption rate of tablets. These physician-formulated supplements come in a small gel pack. You tear off the top and shoot it down. You can also mix it in water. They taste great, they're convenient on the go, and they're more natural too, without chemical binders, fillers, and coatings. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com. HEALTHYCELL.com.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
It's not that all Somalis are criminal. It's just that 90% of these crimes are being committed by Somali Americans. And if you came to this country and you took advantage of the Americans' generosity, you committed fraud, and you refused to assimilate, you know what? I got 4 words for you. Get the hell out.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
The book needs to be thrown at these people.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
This is WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Attorney General Bondi says a woman who led an anti-ICE demonstration disrupting a Minnesota church service last Sunday has been arrested. The arrest of Nikema Levy Armstrong was announced on X, where Bondi wrote, "Listen loud and clear. We do not tolerate attacks on places of worship." President Trump has launched his Board of Peace, which will focus initially on the Gaza ceasefire.
The president inaugurated the new group before leaving the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Once this board is completely formed, we can do pretty much whatever we want to do, and we'll do it in conjunction with the United Nations.
Many of America's traditional allies are refusing to join the Board of Peace. A main complaint is the track record of countries who have signed up, including Saudi Arabia, Hungary, and Pakistan. There's also concern about the invitation to Russia's Vladimir Putin to join the board. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And the president says efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict are slowly coming together. Powerful winter storm is fixing to spread snow, ice, and frigid temperatures from Texas to the northeast over the next several days. It highlights the hazards of such storms.
These dangers can include carbon monoxide poisoning, hypothermia, and frozen pipes that can burst and make homes unlivable. Public safety officials and experts say there are multiple ways people can prepare themselves to avoid these hazards and keep themselves safe. The Midwest, the East Coast, as well as much of the southern U.S., including Texas, Georgia, and the Carolinas, are set to experience a winter storm this weekend. That is putting a spotlight on potential dangers. Keith Peters, Washington.
The Fed's preferred gauge of inflation remains stuck just below 3%. Consumer prices rose 2.8% in November from a year earlier. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 351 points. NASDAQ ahead 179. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. Now that we're finally into the new year, a lot of us are thinking about taxes, home projects we've been putting off, ways to get ahead financially in 2026. Now's the perfect time to talk to my friends at Fellowship Home Loans. If you want to lower your mortgage payment, they can help you refinance. If you need access to cash for home improvements or to wipe out high-interest debt, their fixed-rate line of credit is one of the best tools out there. Fast approval, predictable rate, and flexibility to use your home's equity wisely. Remember, many people still qualify to skip their next 2 mortgage payments. Imagine starting big projects or paying down debt with 2 months of breathing room. My family and I have used Fellowship personally. I trust these guys. Take control of 2026. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE. That's 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Several pro-democracy activists have gone on trial in Hong Kong. They face national security charges for organizing an annual Tiananmen Square vigil before such gatherings were banned. The BBC's Martin Yip is in Hong Kong.
The trial began this morning with Albert Ho, one of the 3 activists from the Hong Kong Alliance, put on trial, pleading guilty to this charge of incitement of subversion, which carries a maximum jail term of 10 years. The other 2 pleaded not guilty. And the prosecutors have been spending the whole morning reading out the admitted facts against Albert Ho, which accused him, by participating in the activities of the Hong Kong Alliance, incited hatred among Hong Kong people against the Chinese state.
It's been a deadly shooting in a town in the Australian state of New South Wales. 3 people killed, a 4th wounded, the gunman still at large. News and analysis, townhall.com. Iconic Coney Island hot dog purveyor Nathan's Famous under new ownership.
Nathan's Famous, which opened as a 5-cent hot dog stand in Coney Island more than a century ago, has been sold to packaged meat giant Smithfield Foods in a $450 million all-cash deal. Like almost every food company, Nathan's has been under significant inflationary pressure brought on by massive government spending during the Biden administration. Nathan's has had to swallow a 20% increase in the average cost per pound of hot dogs. Bob Agnew reporting.
A Council on Criminal Justice report shows a 21% decrease in the homicide rate from 2024 to 25, based on data collected from 35 U.S. cities. It's about 922 fewer homicides last year, amid decreases in 31 of the cities that were studied. Analysts caution it's too early to understand why the declines have been taking place. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are joined on our Zoom newsmaker line right now by the Dow Prize Award winner for the best local journalist in the country, joined in that award by our own executive editor, Christina Botteri, and also joined by yours truly, the one, the only, Tom Pappert, lead political reporter for the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael.
Every now and then there's a story that's kind of funny. And it's funny because the way the left treats things, they just go ballistic over the silliest things. And our good friend, Tennessee State Senator Brent Taylor, out of the Memphis area, who's leading the effort to make Memphis matter. He's been a key player in the Memphis Safe Task Force that has reduced crime dramatically in Memphis. But he's very outspoken, and he challenges Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana and Congressman Tim Burchett for the cleverest, wittiest repartee, if you will, phrase making. Well, he's also a very successful business guy, and he spent his career building up a chain of funeral homes in the Memphis area. And about 4 years ago, he sold them to this big hedge fund that takes these companies and rolls them up. in various areas. And so the company did this in funeral homes. I don't know exactly how much he got, but it was millions of dollars. Millions. And as he points out, many times the check cleared. And so he's very happy that the check cleared. But, Tom, there's a twist and a turn on this. It's a branding thing. 4 years later, the new owners, well, tell us what this story is here.
Well, Michael, apparently the activists in Memphis were making life difficult for this hedge fund, this private equity group that bought the Brent Taylor funeral directors from State Senator Brent Taylor, because they made a post to Facebook on Sunday confirming and clarifying that the state senator has nothing to do with their day-to-day operations. And in fact, after examining his social media history, they determined that it's not in line with their attitudes, and they would be launching a new branding initiative to change the name of the Brent Taylor funeral directors. And while a little bit, it seemed a little bit bratty, to be honest with you, the way they wrote this, just out of the blue years after the deal. But the way the media ran with it is what was really something else. This is from one local news outlet. Collierville Funeral Home confirms new leadership and rebrand plans. Okay, that's decent. It implies that this just happened, though, and it happened 4 years ago. But then this is a really special headline from Fox 13. It's like you're reading TMZ. I don't know how these people live with themselves. Brent Taylor's funeral home in cutting ties with the Tennessee senator. You're dead to me. Whatever news editor lets these articles fly should just be embarrassed. They should be red-faced, and they should probably lose their job, because in actuality, Brent Taylor, as you mentioned, Michael, wrote yesterday in a post to X that he sold his businesses. Quote, "I sold all of my successful businesses nearly 4 years ago for millions of dollars. As part of that deal, I signed a non-disparagement clause. So I will enjoy the money the out-of-state private equity firm paid me while I continue to make Memphis matter by making Memphis safe. The community can determine if they think the new owners run those businesses as well as I did." He writes, "They're off to a good start. The check they gave me cleared the bank, even with all those commas." And by the way, Brent Taylor, the left loves to dox this guy and let everybody knows where he lives. So I happen to have come across his house once or twice. I believe it when he says there were many, many commas on that check.
What is it with these mean-spirited lefties? Oh, my gosh. I mean, there's two things here. First, okay. I don't know, it's like 5 or 6 funeral homes, maybe more. I don't know. Look, it's a classic American success story. Now, interestingly enough, of all the businesses to be in, the funeral business was never one I had any interest in being in. Okay, but nonetheless, in an economy, in a free market economy, people are good at various things, right? Some people, just do all sorts of business. Brent Taylor was really good at building up funeral home businesses, and there was value in them, millions of dollars in value, and so let's think about the branding thing. Somehow, do you think now the Brent Taylor funeral homes have seen a decline in business because he's so outspoken in supporting safety in Memphis? Do you think that's really true?
Well, Michael, I think that there might be multiple things happening here. Maybe there's a little bit, a couple customers think that it's still him running it. But if you think about it, a private equity firm that is not probably based in Nashville, that likely doesn't really have offices in Tennessee per se, just bought a business that's been a cornerstone of the city for many, many years. And in the last 4 years, things are going to change. Their bottom line might be reduced as they sort of lose that local, Brent Taylor's the type of guy who probably goes to community events, probably went to the Chamber of Commerce. Who's to say if the private equity firm is doing all of these same things? So it almost seems like, to me, they probably got a few phone calls, maybe some posts from some of the far left Memphis activists who could likely only afford a cremation at best. Let's be honest here. And they thought,
that's a good
this
line.
is to blame. It's all Brent Taylor's fault. It has nothing to do with us. Profits are down 30%. It's not our fault. It's Brent Taylor. That's my hypothesis, Michael.
That's a very good hypothesis, Tom. Now, what's interesting about all this to me, it's kind of crazy, but what's interesting about all this to me is that if you're looking at the branding thing, and he hasn't owned it for like 4 years. If you want to change the branding, the best way to do it is just to change it, right? You could change the name. That's fine. I doubt that they've really seen a lot of decline in business, right? Because he's so outspoken. Look, it's the politics of it. I don't think people have somebody passes away and they've got to have a funeral and all that sort of stuff. I don't think they care about the politics, but okay. So the thing on this is, let me tell you what I think happened. The hedge fund, probably based in New York City, had a bunch of young, weaselly, leftist MBA grads. I know this because, I went to business school at Stanford, and back then we were free market types, right? MBA graduates are not free market types today. They are monopolists. That's what they want. They want to find a little niche and control everything. So, and a lot of MBA grads are leftists these days. So, and they're coddled. So somebody went to like Columbia Business School or Harvard Business School or Wharton, and they went into the hedge fund where they're getting paid a whole bunch of money, never produced anything, but they, controlled the money. They got a few calls from some of their leftist buddies in Memphis. And they said, we got to change this. That's what happened, it seems to me. I mean, okay. I love the way Brent Taylor's responding to this. Your thoughts, Tom Pappert?
Oh, I think it's the perfect response. And I think you're right, but I think it's also a really cheap move by these probably middle management people at the hedge fund who made the decision and whoever wrote that Facebook post, because the state senator mentioned that he signed a non-disparagement clause. And I would say that what he wrote is not disparaging at all. But his former business, owned by private equity, and local media outlets claiming "you're dead to me," what a ridiculous headline, they were able to essentially run with this story, make it sound as though his company, his own business, like, Michael, we were performing a coup later today at the Tennessee Star, we're getting rid of the leader, we're disassociating. That's what they implied. And then the state senator had to go and write a very clever and very characteristically funny
when we come
post
back,
to
Tom,
X to explain what actually happened.
A deal has been done, and the company that got a seed investment from a Chinese Communist Party group got the deal. Back with Tom Pappert after this.
If you've tried everything for cheek redness or breakouts and nothing works, it's not your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. Introducing Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from the Wellness Company, a prescription-strength, dermatologist-developed formula that helps reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. This triple-action cream combines 3 medical-grade ingredients for powerful results. Azelaic acid to unclog pores and fade dark spots, metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and ivermectin to calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. Together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin over time. Formulated and compounded in the United States, this FDA-approved cream is trusted by doctors for visible and lasting results. Experience clear, confident skin with the Wellness Company's Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. U.S. residents only. Head to twc.health/Godzilla and use code Godzilla to save $20 off, plus free shipping.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
It's not that all Somalis are criminal. It's just that 90% of these crimes are being committed by Somali Americans. And if you came to this country and you took advantage of the Americans' generosity, you committed fraud, and you refused to assimilate, you know what? I got 4 words for you. Get the hell out.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
The book needs to be thrown at these people.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We're going to talk with Tom Pappert about education in Tennessee right now. Our lead story at the Tennessee Star by Tom is the following. Tennessee taps school choice management software company that accepted money from venture capital firm run by Chinese AI guru. Tell us about this story, Tom.
Well, Michael, we previewed it a week or so ago, and yesterday the Tennessee State issued a letter announcing to all who bid that it had selected a company named ClassWallet to provide the technology for its school choice management needs. That is both the Education Freedom Scholarships, the Universal School Choice Program might be expanded this year, and the Education Scholarship accounts, education savings accounts that are available in a few specific cities and counties throughout Tennessee. This is the company that was previously selected in a no-bid contract by former Education Commissioner Penny Schwinn, very controversial person, but lawsuits blocked the ESA program from ever going into effect until 2023. And at that point, a competitive bidding process led to a different company getting the account. Well, last September, they announced that they were going to open it up to bids again. And yesterday, they said they want to give the contract to ClassWallet. There's a 7-day period. It goes until the 27th that will allow the other companies to protest this. But ClassWallet is a very interesting company. They've got all kinds of complaints and sort of grumblings from the other states they're in. Democrats in Arizona accuse them of being responsible for data leaks. Republicans in Oklahoma accuse them of being incapable of stopping money from being misspent. All over the country, they've got problems. And interestingly enough, back in 2016, they had an interesting investor. Now, to be fair, they've since raised like $95 million. It's a very well-off company. But back in 2016, they received $1.5 million in seed funding led by a group that later rebranded as Sinovation Ventures. This group is run by a Chinese national who, for the past literal decade, has been going around predicting that China will lead the world in AI, and he's been investing as though he believes this is going to happen. Well, by the way, China is not leading the world on AI. Thanks to people like President Trump and Elon Musk, the United States leads the way on AI. But regardless, it was reported last year a technology expert, a Chinese technology expert out of the University of California at Berkeley, said that the way he looks at it, all of these investments by Sinovation Ventures are benefiting the Chinese state security apparatus by collecting data. So one must wonder now, we've picked a company that has previously had some bad headlines over this no-bid contract. They're connected to a Chinese guy who is allegedly investing so he can harvest data. I don't know, Michael. It just seems like there are a lot of red flags that I hope people in the Tennessee state capitol are paying attention to.
Yeah, and the appeal process. There are a number of companies. The other company, it's called Student First Technologies. They've had sort of a mixed bag. The Odyssey, Lift Forward, et cetera, Merit, they've all bid on the contract. Now, there is an appeal process, but when I read the letter, it's a tough process because you got to put up a bond to make the appeal of like, what, $300,000? And what happens?
Well, that's right.
What happens if you lose the appeal? Do you lose the $300,000?
That's my understanding, and I'm not sure this process has ever been used. It seems as though it's almost like a sour grapes type of situation. Oh, I didn't get the contract, so I'm going to blow $350,000 trying to get my way.
Do that. Nobody's going to put up a bond for $300,000 to appeal a contract that was, I don't know how they do these contracts. Somebody, in the Department of Education has gone through some analyses, and they said, despite all the stuff we've talked about, they think it's a good thing. Okay, well, that's kind of the way the deal is set up. But you're not going to spend $300,000 on an appeal where it looks like the odds of an appeal success aren't that good.
Well, I think that's unfortunately correct. And I think this is an important and underreported part of school choice programs in general. I support them, obviously. We have to give our kids options. We have to get them out of the state-run monopoly that are churning out absolute, I'm sorry to say this if any parents listening have their kids in them, but they're turning out losers, let's be honest. But at the same time, it's very curious how these private companies that get massive fundraising, including from Chinese firms in this case, are having such a vital role in our school choice management software. J.C. Bowman, the Tennessee Professional Educators, spoke to us a couple weeks ago, and he said, when Florida first started a school choice program, they developed their own software, and it worked fine for a few years until they, too, started contracting with these companies. And I do think it's a very, very curious relationship and a curious predicament.
Speaking of curious relationships, so the head of the American Federation of Teachers, Weinstein, was in Davos, and she gave a speech. She says, Davos and the World Economic Forum should be designing American curriculum. Let's listen to this clip.
So part of what we're trying to do here is say, how do we create this partnership between education, labor, government, and industry with the goal of creating these pathways so that kids, when they come out of high school or they come out of college, don't have to start saying, what am I going to do next? The pathways become important, and to create those pathways, you also have to create a curriculum, and you have to create this engagement with each other. And the last thing I'll say is this. When you do it, in the United States of America, we have 16,000 school districts. We have over 100,000 schools. There are industry partners all over. And you, Kiva, were the one who said, you can't keep on doing this industry by industry. You were the one who said, you can't keep on doing this governor by governor. How do we use the WEF to create this kind of integrated network so that we're all working together?
Oh, my God. I can't take any more of that, Tom. Let's get these loser socialist countries to design the curriculum for American students. It's beyond crazy. Your thoughts?
You know, I like with a lot of these people, you want to kind of agree with her. You're like, yes, we do need ways for our young people to get jobs when they graduate high school. But then you look at this woman's track record and it's like, wait a minute, that's the opposite of what's happening. These kids wind up being perpetual students. They go to graduate school to learn how to weave baskets at a doctoral level. And they know nothing. They have no usable skills. And that's her creating this. So I hope all of these international leaders listening to this realize that if you listen to this woman and help her create a curriculum, an international curriculum for American kids and your kids, all you're going to do is make your kids as dumb as our kids. You don't want this lady to have anything to do with your schools.
No, and what on earth is the head of the American Federation of Teachers, that union? What's she doing in Davos anyways? I mean, look, here's the deal. There is an emerging view. It's kind of the America First view of education and economics and industry and employment, which is, look, let us restore our industrial base. Let us develop kids that can read, write, and do arithmetic and think for themselves and have skills in trades. That's where everything needs to be going. By the way, I have a new breaking story that you're not going to believe. Here in Nashville, we're going to have to confirm this. But a trusted source tells us that a well-known, quote, civil rights activist, end quote, is today speaking to the principals of the Metro Nashville Public Schools system because this person cares so much about kids. And when I tell you who this person is, you're going to go, are you kidding me? Who's paying for this? Colin Kaepernick, we're told.
Michael, that's a name I haven't heard in probably more than a decade. I hope nobody's paying for it. I hope he just showed up.
I mean, Metro Nashville Public Schools are such a disaster. And you talk about, continuing performative, claims of education. I mean, their proficiency in reading and writing and arithmetic is way, way down across Metro Nashville Public Schools. 30%, 32%, something like that. It's just ridiculous. They're more concerned about political correctness and DEI junk than they are in teaching kids. I guess you'll be asking Metro Nashville Public Schools to confirm this report that Colin Kaepernick was there today. Do you think they'll answer you?
Oh, Michael, I think if he actually came to Nashville today, they'll have a hard time not answering. I mean, that's a big deal. Regardless of we think it's hilarious this guy's like a Black Lives Matter activist who threw away his football career by protesting the American national anthem. But there's got to have been, as you pointed out, some money exchange here. And I think Metro Nashville Public Schools would be very unwise not to answer.
If you would go and ask him today, did he actually speak to the principals? I guess it was at the Martin Center. And B, what was his message? That's what I want to know. Tom Pappert, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Michael. We'll be back with the latest on Kaepernick soon, I'm sure.
When we come back, we got something from Mike Rowe about trades and development of trade schools. Back after this.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
Each of us is born with 30 trillion cells that make us. These cells determine how we feel, perform, sleep, focus, and how long we live. And to live our best life, all we have to do is feed our cells properly. But most supplements don't reach our cells, keeping us from reaching our full potential. Make every cell count with Healthy Cell. Founded with a mission to empower people to take control of their own health at the most fundamental level, the cell. Dr. Vincent Gempapa, world-renowned cell researcher and medical doctor, created supplements that work at the cellular level to support immune health, better sleep, sharper focus, and healthy aging. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com, HEALTHYCELL, and use code GODZILLA for 20% off.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
It's not that all Somalis are criminal. It's just that 90% of these crimes are being committed by Somali Americans. And if you came to this country and you took advantage of the Americans' generosity, you committed fraud, and you refused to assimilate, you know what? I got 4 words for you. Get the hell out.
Cats and Cosby, 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
The book needs to be thrown at these people.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumber yard for $200 in hidden charges. And D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. A terrific conversation with our very good friend Tom Pappert, our lead political reporter, about education in Tennessee and education around the country. Mike Rowe. What a great guy he is. You know, he's the guy that does all the promotion of dirty jobs in America. And, you know, he's a fascinating fellow. He's got this foundation that provides scholarships to kids who want to develop trades. And let me just say, there is an emerging new view about the role of education today. And that view is the following. Well, it's my view. Okay. It's my view, but I think it's shared by a lot of people. And that is, we need to change education dramatically in America. And I think there are 3 key elements to it. Number 1, we actually need to teach kids K-5 to read, to write, to spell, and be able to do basic mathematical functions. And that's not, and then because of that, they will be able to think independently. That's not happening to any notable degree in America today, because the public schools have been dominated by teachers' unions and educrats that care about themselves and not the students. I'm kind of summarizing it, basically. And the system is working very, very poorly. I mean, here in Tennessee, The basic proficiency in those areas in the 5th grade is like 40% max. 60% can't read, write, spell, do arithmetic, or think in the 5th grade. That's very scary for the future. That's got to be solved. And there's a way to solve it. We'll have more about this, but there's a methodology in teaching reading, writing, arithmetic, and spelling called direct instruction. A guy by the name of Siegfried Enman is the guy that invented it way back in the 60s. Became a professor at the University of Oregon. And in the private schools that use it, kids are able to learn to read like very quickly. And here in Tennessee, we've got a couple schools that do it. Thales Academy, George Washington Academy. Kids in kindergarten are able to read by Christmas. How about that? There are kids that graduate from high school that can't read at that level today, okay? So this is an obvious fix. So that's one thing that has to happen. We've got some projects going on there that you'll hear about that are relevant. Okay. Now, having said all that, that's number one. Number two, we got another project here. Kids don't understand our Constitution, our government, or civics. And so we've got this little project we've been doing for a while called the Constitution Bee for high school students. And take a look at this. I've written a book along with Claudia Henneberry, Guide to the Constitution and Bill of Rights for secondary school students. We do this little Constitution Bee. We give away $10,000 scholarship to the winner, lots of scholarships for the other kids. And we're doing it in October of this year here in Tennessee. We just partnered with Turning Point USA to work specifically in Tennessee. Well, you can participate anywhere else, but if you're in a Club America here in Tennessee, in a high school, you'll get your Guide to the Constitution and Bill of Rights, and you'll also get a copy of the Tennessee Constitution right here. That's the state constitution, not the national constitution. And, kids are available. High school kids from any place in the country can participate. But we're going to be starting out this year. We've been doing this for about 6 or 7 years, had a couple-year hiatus. We're back for the 250th anniversary of the United States. Okay. So number one, read, write, spell, do arithmetic, and think. That's K5. Number two, understand the Constitution of the United States, our government, and your civic duties. Number three, learn a trade. Okay. Mike Rowe, we've got to get Mike Rowe on. He's really fantastic. You've seen all of his shows on this topic, but he does, did all his work on the dirty jobs, the jobs that matter, right? Not basket weaving. People don't need basket weaving. People don't need gender ideology. People need their toilet fixed when it doesn't work. That's a plumber. When, people need, when the air conditioning doesn't work, they need the HVAC guy to come in and fix it. You got to have a skill to do that. It's a trade skill. So Mike Rowe was talking yesterday about these themes that have come up that all the globalists at the World Economic Forum in Davos were talking about. Here's the clip. Let's play this right now.
I don't have much new to say about the impact of AI on skilled labor. I've been a broken record on this for years. But that's Jensen Huang. He runs NVIDIA. He's at the World Economic Forum, and he's being interviewed by Larry Fink, who runs BlackRock. This is a heck of a thing to wake up to as you're waiting for the coffee to kick in, if you're me.
So let's get into that in a little more detail. So you actually believe we're going to face labor shortages. And so how do you see that AI and robotics changing the nature of work rather than eliminating it?
Yeah, there's several different ways that we could think through it. First of all, this is the largest infrastructure build out in human history. That's going to create a lot of jobs. And it's wonderful that the jobs are related to tradecraft. And we're going to have plumbers and electricians and construction and steel workers and network technicians and people who install and fit out the equipment. And all of these jobs, in the United States, we're seeing quite a significant boom in this area. Salaries have gone up, nearly doubled. And so we're talking about six-figure salaries for people who are building chip factories or computer factories or AI factories. And we have a great shortage in that. And I'm really delighted to see so many people in so many countries really recognizing this important area.
I'm delighted too. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Here's an idea. This year, my foundation got 10 times the applications for trade school scholarships than we got last year. 10 times. People are getting the memo. They're just not quite sure what to do about it. I think we ought to convene, maybe not in Switzerland, maybe somewhere stateside, and talk about rethinking the way we train the next generation for these jobs. But we are in violent agreement on this. It's a massive undertaking. We're going to need hundreds of thousands of skilled workers that we currently don't have. The stakes seem awfully high, and for what it's worth, gentlemen, I'm at your disposal if I can be of use. Thank you.
Okay, Mike Rowe. I've never met Mike. I always wanted to talk to him. He's a little busy, right? So, it's kind of hard to do. But, Mike, we don't need all those globalist world leaders in Davos, Switzerland. I am, as we speak, right now, Mike, I am inviting you to come here to Nashville, Tennessee. And we are going to hold a conference. Obviously, your presence will make the conference significant. And I'll invite in others. And we're going to talk about redefining what education looks like in the United States of America today and how we get there quickly. That's the point. Quickly. Just the moneyed classes need to, as you say, wake up and smell the coffee about where we need to go. That's all I'm going to say about this right now. But we will reach out to Mike. We've got plenty of great venues here in Nashville, and we'll get a lot of other folks here who are thinking about it. I'll tell you who else I'm going to invite. Mark Andreessen of the venture firm, and Katie Boyle, who's in the education area and works for Andreessen. We'll invite them as well. And we have a great venue here. We'll get some good entertainment. We'll get some good food. And where else in the world does it make sense to have this, 21st century real education forum than right here in Nashville, Tennessee? I know. How are you going to pull this off? I have an idea. I can't share it with you right now, but I do have an idea on that. So there you go. Mike Rowe, we heard you, and we are inviting you to the education forum that we're going to set up here in Nashville. Of course, if Mike doesn't come, I don't think we'll have a big headliner. When we get him, then we'll make it happen. It'll be a lot of fun. And where else in the world would you go to do it but Nashville, Tennessee? Look, Davos, Switzerland is not the center of the world today. It's places like Nashville, Tennessee that are center of the world. I mean, let's be honest. We helped start the trend back when we founded the Tennessee Star 9 years ago, right here in Nashville. We started the trend of media outlets being headquartered in Nashville. Many others have followed, including the Daily Wire and several others, because you get a perspective of the world that is based on reality. It is not a perspective of the world that is based on New York City, which is now run by, in essence, a communist Islamist, or San Francisco or L.A. or any of those places. We're based on reality. And, as our friend Kaz Najadian mentioned the other day, there's a different idea of citizenship here in Nashville and in the center of the country where, the goal is to own your own single-family home, not have it owned by some dopey hedge fund out of New York City. And New York City, by the way, they don't really have single-family homes in Manhattan. They have these big apartment buildings that you're, part of it. It's just a different world set, the mindset, rather. And I think, look, the center of America is shifting. It's shifting from New York. It's shifting from San Francisco and L.A. It's moving towards Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Miami, Florida, we're glad to be part of that. So, Micro, your phone is going to ring after the show. Let's set this conference up. Let's get it done in the all-American classic way, in the tradition of Thomas Alva Edison, where American can-doism gets the job done, and we're not whiny victims. Back with more after this. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
For years, the Europeans have underestimated President Trump time after time. But at every turn, he's been right. On energy, on NATO, on foreign free riding. It's time they pay up. That's why he's cracking down on foreign countries that don't pay their fair share for American medicines. Renegotiating trade deals for the prescription drugs we invent. President Trump is ending the foreign freeloading, making Europe pay their fair share.
Paid for by Americans for Limited Government.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
These illegal skill games that keep popping up, fights break out, they're illegal. We got drugs, we got gangs, they're all over the place. How do you get illegal slot machines in convenience stores when Governor Youngkin, you vetoed it? And no referendum, nobody passed it. How are they still here?
At the end of the day, it is local Commonwealth attorneys that have to bring the cases against the establishments and to get them out. And so, yes, I vetoed bills. The High Court has said that they can't be there. And on top of that, our Attorney General has done a full investigation. And we go back to our Commonwealth attorneys in so many jurisdictions refuse to enforce the law. That's the bottom line. They protect the criminals at the expense of the victims. And that's why, again, elections matter. We have got to elect prosecutors who will put people in jail.
This ad paid for by Churchill Downs.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We have a breaking story that broke actually this morning, about 2 hours ago. This is from Attorney General Pam Bondi. Minutes ago, at my direction, FBI agents executed an arrest in Minnesota. So far, we have arrested Nikema Levy Armstrong, who allegedly played a key role in organizing the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. We will share more updates as they become available. Listen loud and clear. We do not tolerate attacks on places of worship. There's an update. A second arrest has been made at my direction. Chantil Louisa Allen has been taken into custody. More to come. We will protect our houses of worship. There you go. I wonder if Don Lemon is on that list. He should be. Here we have a clip, and I think of one of these church invaders. This is the second person arrested, Louisa Allen. Let's play clip 17.
We found out through the ACLU lawsuit that David Easterman, I keep saying his name wrong, Easterwood, was a pastor at this church on Summit Avenue. And for us, that's just really, it was like the lowest bar. It's like, you know, you have these people in our community just really terrorizing our children and our women and our different immigrant communities. They're arresting U.S. citizens and doing all of this illegal stuff, all the way down to even the most graphic murder of Renee Good. And then we have the head of this whole operation standing in a pulpit preaching to a congregation every Sunday morning. And so that was really just not okay for us. I believe that's what needed to be done to get the message across. I mean, my mother is a pastor.
Okay, so the claim is that they were justified in invading the church and disrupting worship services because allegedly one of the lay pastors there, David Easterwood, worked for ICE. That was the claim. That's not been confirmed. There are some sources that say it may be true, but it's not been confirmed. And the other person that was arrested, Nikema Levy Armstrong, she is an attorney. She's a graduate of the University of Illinois Law School. She was a professor at St. Thomas University School of Law in Minneapolis, and she was the head of NAACP. I think there's a report also that she ran for mayor of Minneapolis and lost, but she was another one of these folks that have been arrested. Now, we've got a bunch of look. I think this is the next step is Don Lemon, because he went out before the event. They knew that there would be a disruption. And they went, we're going to go to the key points, and we're going to disrupt things. Well, and Lemon went in, and they disrupted the services. They were asked to leave. They didn't leave. Now, subsequently, these guys have been all over social media claiming, oh, we were invited. They were not invited. And they were asked to leave, and they didn't. They're lying about it. So we'll see how this works out. I do think, however, Don Lemon, in my view, committed a crime as well, violating the FACE Act, and which says you can't disrupt a religious worship. So we'll see if he gets arrested today. I think he should be. We'll see. We've got another clip. Here's a Somali in Minneapolis lying about an ICE arrest. Clip 13.
We're following these two men, and I was waiting for these two men to hold the door for me. And I told them, hey, can you hold the door for me? And I walked right in the middle. And when I was in the middle, ICE came. They came out of their cars. They asked me to see my ID. And while they were asking me to see the ID, they just decided it was nice to be racist and say really nasty things to me. And that man, he called me He called me the N-word, and he called me that. And
Okay,
then
so this is all a bunch of bogus. It's victim, victim, victim. This is all a misdirection to cover up the massive, huge fraud in the Somali community, $9 billion. Nick Shirley, who broke it, needs security now. Let's play this clip right now, clip 9.
I mean, your house gets doxxed. People try hacking your social media accounts. People start calling your family members, and you have to go everywhere with 24/7 security. It's just not the same anymore, and it kind of sucks, to be honest, because, like I said, I was just exposing fraud, and then you see all of this hatred come at you for doing a giant public service for America, where the majority of Americans are super happy. I'd say 99%, but then you have that crazy 1% that just gets super upset because they're the fraudsters.
So given what you've exposed...
Yeah, so the problem is, he's quite right. What is the problem here? The crazy 1% that hate America and are trying to tear it down are being amplified by the regime media. Now, I know media has been, fragmented now, and there are a lot of sources like this one that tell you the truth. But regime media, CNN, CBS, even CBS, Barry, you're screwing it up. You're not getting it done. ABC, NBC, they're all lying about this. We'll have more. Aaron Gulbranson joins us with details of the fast-paced, rapidly moving Tennessee General Assembly session. Back after this.
West Virginia Sports Nation gives you a top-of-the-mountain view of the Mountaineers sports landscape. See what's happening in all the sports, far beyond football, basketball, and baseball. Gymnastics, track and field, rowing, swimming and diving, golf, volleyball, tennis. More sports, more stories. If the Mountaineers play the game, WVSportsNation.com has it covered. Up-to-date and insightful articles written by Mountaineers for Mountaineers Nation. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com.
That share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter.
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis. Listen 24/7 with the News Talk 760 app, available in the Apple Store and Google Play.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. In Davos, Switzerland, site of the World Economic Forum, President Trump today chaired the first official opening meeting of the Board of Peace.
I want to thank you all for being here. Yesterday we had an incredibly successful visit with many of the world's top business leaders, the best, the biggest, most successful, and foreign heads of state. And now we have one of the most important meetings of all, the official formation of what is known as the Board of Peace.
Mr. Trump and other world leaders who are board members signed the initial document for the Board of Peace. Denmark's prime minister has reacted to President Trump's announcement yesterday that he has agreed to what he called a framework of a future deal on Arctic security with the head of NATO.
Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has released a statement. The Danish leader said that NATO is fully aware of Denmark's position that anything political can be negotiated on, including security, investment and economic issues. But she said we cannot negotiate on our sovereignty.
That is Karen Chamis reporting. Frederiksen said that Denmark wants to continue engaging in constructive dialogue with allies on how to strengthen security in the Arctic, including the U.S. Golden Dome program. Vice President Vance has stops today in Toledo, Ohio, and Minneapolis amid tense interactions between federal immigration law enforcement authorities and some local demonstrators.
My simple piece of advice to them is going to be, look, if you want to turn down the chaos in Minneapolis, stop fighting immigration enforcement and accept that we have to have a border in this country. It's not that hard.
And the vice president's visit comes less than a month after Renee Good was fatally shot after blocking ice and striking an officer with her vehicle as she attempted to escape the scene. It's a tragedy that Vice President Vance called a tragedy of her own making. More from townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-893-2288. That's 800-893-2288.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
And now here's Rich Thomason with the Midday Wall Street Business Report.
An upbeat report on U.S. economic growth. Powered by strong consumer spending, the American economy grew at a 4.4% annual rate July through September, the fastest pace in 2 years. It's a slight upgrade of the previous growth estimate. The Minneapolis economy is suffering as anti-ICE demonstrations persist.
Businesses and customers are staying at home. Some protesters are targeting businesses they see as aiding federal immigration enforcement. Countless stores have temporarily closed or reduced hours. Some hotels that house federal immigration officers and saw protests have stopped accepting reservations altogether. The Minneapolis-based Target Corporation has also been the target of protests.
Correspondent Bill Alexander. First-time jobless claims edged higher to a still low 200,000 last week. I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. A massive winter storm is set to target more than 180 million people from Texas to New England this weekend. The National Weather Service is urging people to stay tuned to weather reports heading into the weekend because they say as we get closer to the actual time, the forecast could change a bit. In Britain, centuries of love letters going on display soon at the National Archives in London.
The letters showcase the many facets of love. The exhibition's curator, Victoria Iglikowski-Broad, says the documents include legendary romances from British history, featuring royalty, politicians, celebrities and spies, and also stories of everyday people. The exhibition includes letters from sweethearts to soldiers and a medieval story about heartbreak. Highlights include a poignant letter from Robert Dudley to Queen Elizabeth I, Charles de Ledesma.
You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com. From Washington.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, there is one heck of a story going on here in Davos, Switzerland. And Trump gave a speech for the ages. It was measured, humorous, provocative, and direct. And he had a direct message for Europe. We're going to play this right now. Clip 6.
Are you willing to fight with NATO mission in Greenland?
I made that very clear.
Why are you disrespecting the president?
We have a great relationship with NATO, but NATO has to step up.
You're very disrespectful of Europe and the UK, sir. Why?
No, I'm not. But they have to change their ways, or they're going to.
Why? Trade with your allies makes no sense.
Between immigration and energy, if they don't change, bad things will happen to them.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's the point. Between immigration and energy, if they don't change, bad things will happen to them. And yeah, Roger Simon has a great column on Substack. Our good friend Roger Simon, the best writer in America. And Roger was basically saying, will American kids know what Europe was? Because right now, it ain't Europe. It's some kind of hellhole, right? Dominated by third world Muslims who hate Europe. Here's what Roger had to say. While watching President Trump's speech at Davos, with which I concurred, I had a thought that interfered with my goal of positivity and left me feeling a certain sadness, said Roger. Due to the feckless policies of the globalists, not to mention the clever exploitation of imperialist guilt coupled with a perceived need to cheap labor, Europe is no more. I mean, of course, the Europe we once knew and dreamed of, so well described by Hemingway's A Movable Feast. That is the Europe our young, those under 30, or is it 40, will never see. Papa, that's Ernest Hemingway, was writing of Paris, but it could just as well have been London, Amsterdam, and a host of other cities, which made many of us think the old world was the coolest of the cool and inspired us to cross on multiple occasions for business and or pleasure, which became known as the Pond. Hard as it may be to believe now, in those days, to a great degree, it was the coolest of the cool. The culture, the buildings, the food, the art, films, the sophisticated politics, and to younger and older males of the time, the woman, many of whom, untouchable as they were, starred in those same art films. Jean Moreau and Brigitte Bardot have now passed away. It was also quite obviously the birthplace of our civilization. Where would the United States have been without John Locke, or to go back even further, Magna Carta? No more. With the exception of some Eastern European countries, I, for one, writes Roger Simon, have no interest in going there. No London, no Paris, no Brussels, no Amsterdam, no Stockholm, no Edinburgh, and certainly no Dublin. In large part, I don't want to see the desecration of what I once knew and loved, Western Europe, invaded and changed almost beyond recognition, as Trump put it today, by Islam. I have no interest in being around groomers or jihadists or women dressed stem to stem in black, sometimes with even their eyes obscured so they are completely unrecognizable one from another, all without the slightest interest in assimilation. And there you go. It's without the slightest interest in assimilation. Now, Trump actually, it's not just that, it's just a lack of common sense. And Trump hit the European leaders right smack dab in the nose when he called them stupid. Well, they are stupid. Let's explain why. Clip 8.
Windmills all over Europe. There are windmills all over the place, and they are losers. One thing is that the more windmills a country has, the more money that country loses and the worse that country is doing. China makes almost all of the windmills, and yet I haven't been able to find any wind farms in China. Did you ever think of that? It's a good way of looking at it. They're smart. China's very smart. They make them, they sell them for a fortune. They sell them to the stupid people that buy them, but they don't use them themselves. They put up a couple of big wind farms, but they don't use them. They just put them up to show people what they could look like. They don't spin. They don't do anything. They use a thing called coal mostly. But China goes with the coal. They go with oil and gas. They're starting to look at nuclear.
Yeah. Okay, so they're stupid and they're weak. And they're being led by weasels, wealthy weasels, like Alex Soros, the son of George Soros. Here is Alex Soros at Davos.
You know, we just heard this point about untrustworthy people, and we talked about things in the United States like, checks and balances, which aren't written anywhere, but are customs. And one man, Donald Trump, literally came in and just took that all away.
Okay, so he's a complete moron. He's a billionaire, but he's a moron. Yeah, did you hear this? Aaron Goldmanson, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Did you hear? So Alex Soros goes to Europe and says, well, we have customs of checks and balances, but they aren't written anywhere. Gosh, how about Article 1, Article 2, and Article 3 of the Constitution, where the checks and balances are there in the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative branches. Aaron, what do you think of those authoritarians at Davos?
I mean, the only good person at Davos was the president and his entourage. But
he was
no,
great.
I mean, I always laugh when I hear anything from Alex Soros because he's, the dumb son of the evil one.
George Soros, yeah.
And actually, he would go to all the New York City, Wall Street parties and all that. And I remember getting a text from a friend of mine going, I'm staring across the room at Alex Soros. Should I try to throw him off the balcony? That guy's a very high-level person over at some anonymous hedge fund now. Anyway, but yeah, no, they're all the Soros family cares to do is destabilize actual vibrant democracies and republics.
They want to destroy our constitutional republic. That's what they want to do. Now, it is no surprise that he's married Huma Abedin, who is Muslim, right? So there's a confluence there. Clearly, George Soros, who is an atheist and who basically wants to destroy freedom and liberty of Western civilization, trying to do it in the United States, trying to do it in Europe. It's working pretty well in Europe so far.
Yeah.
Because with this unbounded open borders, the unassimilated Muslim population there is making all of the Europeans weak and scaredy cats. Your thoughts, Aaron Copeland?
I mean, it's just part of their MO. And how much older than Alex is Huma? Is she robbing the cradle a little bit?
I don't know. But
just a weird. But yeah, no, it's. Listen, this is the thing. This is the thing that Americans always need to remember. I mean, you look over at Europe and go, this could happen here. This is why, honestly, liberals in the United States are either really, really stupid, which is a lesser amount of. I mean, they're all stupid, but or they're hell bent on destroying the United States. It happens in Europe first, and
they're trying to push it here. But here, the good thing, Tennessee is pushing back.
Yeah.
And we've had just a terrific opening few weeks in the Tennessee General Assembly.
Yep.
You've been down there.
Yes, sir.
You will tell us all about what's happening when we get back. He's Aaron Goldmanson. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. We'll be back after this.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just 1 scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the official guest host of Michael Patrick Leahy Show, the executive director of the Tennessee Conservative Coalition, the one, the only, Aaron Gulbinson. Aaron, it has been a whirlwind of the first week and a half or so of the Tennessee General Assembly. Give us a sense of what's going on down there.
I mean, a lot of the focus is this has made national news is, you know, the House and the Senate leadership, which I believe Speaker Cameron Sexton started these conversations with Stephen Miller at the White House. You know, a comprehensive immigration package where the president and his team are looking to use, rightfully so, Tennessee as a model for how to address immigration at the state level. And what better way can you do it when you have good leadership and a Republican supermajority?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Which, to all those people out there who would like to see less Republicans in the General Assembly, Stephen Miller probably has 2 words for you.
Yeah. And we know what those 2 words are. But and we can't use them on the air.
Well, actually, you could, but they're not the words you're thinking of, Michael. I'm going back to pro wrestling here.
Okay,
so, anyway.
all right.
But yeah, no. So, but that, I mean, that's the predominant thing. Of course, then there's all the conversations about expanding school choice, what that's going to look like. That's essentially a budget item at this point. They're working through that. But no, I mean, functionally, and I'll get you to the kind of boring side of things. I mean, you have the first full 2 days of session last week. You have a Thursday floor session in the morning. A lot of legislators leave the building
after the floor session.
Yeah,
and
after
they
the
head
floor
back,
session, they head back
to their
home. So not even really a full week. You know, January's kind of the start-stop time, right? Because then you have Martin Luther King Day this week. They get back in 2 full days, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today,
were they in session in the morning?
They were both in session in the morning, and I think the sessions are both done, and I think I've talked to a couple people on the way over, but yeah, no, I mean, some have already left the building already. Some are in meetings all day, but it just depends. So it's a bit of the hurry up and wait phase.
The immigration bills, they're pretty good. Just kind of synopsize the key elements.
I mean, there's a variety of housekeeping items in there, making sure that it's exceedingly harder for them, to get driver's license, making it easier to get to be deported and that sort of thing. I haven't done the full deep dive into it because honestly, I've saw some of the top lines and I had a couple suggestions on my own, so I'm waiting to see some things that are.
So the other thing about all this, Aaron, is it seems to me that these immigration bills are going to move through. I don't think there's any Republican opposition to them.
No,
is there? I don't think so. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, there's a couple every now and then that go, "Oh, we're the most conservative people in the room. Oh, by the way, we hate everything Republican." So I don't know.
Maybe a couple, but it's.
We'll see if Jody Barrett opposes it. I don't know.
I think I'm going to give Jody the benefit of the doubt. Right.
By the way, did you see he launched a new podcast?
Oh, he did. Really?
He named it The Woodshed. And I don't know if you can call your podcast The Woodshed when you've been taken to the woodshed.
Okay, Jody. Well, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on the immigration stuff. We'll see.
He
right?
probably will vote for it and all.
Yeah, I think so.
But no, here's the overarching theme, though, right? It's the left really are the ones that are going to jump up and down and scream about it. And ironically, by the way, there was a poll that Wall Street Journal, it was a national poll that was released over, and I forget what firm did it, but over last weekend. Apparently 28% of Americans think Donald Trump is not doing enough to fight illegal immigration.
Yeah.
And of course, that makes me wonder, going, there's 28% of Americans that want what to happen?
Yeah, that's a good point. So what's the timing of the progress?
I mean, listen, the committees are essentially just getting started. Every committee right now is having a certain segment where they're having kind of a mini budget hearing too. Things are going to be, it's still January. Things are going to be getting into full swing in February. It's just going to be a lot of start-stop. So,
what's the overall, I don't know, the vibe down there? Are we getting, here's what it looks like from afar. Strong leadership in the House from Cam Sexton and Majority Leader William Lambert.
Mm-hmm.
Strong leadership in the state Senate. You got Lieutenant Governor, President of the Senate Randy McNally, and the leadership of State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And the committee guys seem to be pretty strong as well. So my sense is we've got a united, strong front from the supermajority Republicans. There may be one or two kind of whiny types there, but for the most part, they're all on board.
Yeah.
Then on the Democrats, they're in the super minority in both houses. In the Senate, I don't see anybody in the super minority who's really trying to throw a problem. I mean,
no, the senators don't do that. Even the crazy far left ones like London Lamar. I mean, listen, you can go and see, and when there's a whole big to-do going on in the House gallery or right outside the House doors, there's one or two protesters in the Senate, and I may be blowing up their spot now, and hopefully I'm not jinxing, but it's a lot quieter of a proceeding, which is
even like of course the state Senate itself. If you ever go down there, which I recommend everybody do. Yeah. You can just see 99 people in the House, bigger chamber, kind of raucous at times, and then sort of the country club / nursing home of the state Senate, which is very calm and sedate. And so I think that whole vibe, even among like the Democrats, what you've got London Lamar and one or two others that would ideologically be more radical. They seem to be polite, though. It seems to me.
They are. I mean, in my experience, the most annoying one, shocker, is Heidi Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's awful. Let me be correct. She's awful. In other words, angry, affluent, white, female, urban liberal. Now, the New York Times doesn't like us using that term.
So actually, after we passed a couple of years ago the child rape death penalty option in the Senate, and of course it's law today. Thank you, Jack Johnson, William Lamberth, and Ken Yeager. I was in the gallery. It was one of my bills, and I was clapping every, blah, 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 as you do. And so I go downstairs after they're out of session, and Heidi Campbell doesn't really know who I am, and walks over to me. He's like, I saw you clapping for that horrible law. And mind you, this is a law that gives the DAs the option to seek the death penalty against child rapists. And she's like, I can't believe you're with them. And I was like, yeah, I'm against child rape. Sorry you're not. She's just a weirdo too.
So the other interesting thing here is, but in the House, you've got, how many, 24 Democrats in the House? 24,
that sounds about right.
Okay. But there are the alleged Tennessee 4 and then the rest of them.
Yeah.
Okay. There's 20 Democrats that are, they cooperate. They oppose ideologically, but they're not jerks about it.
You look at certain rhetoric, right? I mean, because if you want to see, if you want to see really bad anti-Christian rhetoric, just go look at John Ray Clemens' Twitter X page. But the other function to remember as we always move forward analyzing this session, this is the last year of the current governor.
Right.
So
this is the legacy year.
Yeah.
This is the legacy year of the governor.
But that means you're not going to see. You're going to see one or two big things. You're not going to see a sweeping.
No. And the two things I think we talk about are immigration and education. Yeah. I think those are the two things. By the way, just for the record, this is Governor Lee. This is his last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 8th year of his term as governor. And I have to say, we were highly critical of the governor in his first 6 years.
Yep.
But his last 2 years have been really, really good.
Yeah. Really good.
And so I think if you look at the history of governors in the state of Tennessee, this is, I think, was going to go down as one of the most significant administrations of a governor in Tennessee's modern history.
I mean, the school choice is a big deal and a number of other things.
And this immigration stuff is going to be good, is really, really good. Maybe we can get him in now, but I think he might still be a little bit mad at some of the criticism we had on the gas tax thing at the beginning of his term. But okay.
Do you want me to call in a favor? I mean, maybe we could make it happen before he leaves.
I think before he leaves, we ought to have him in, and we'll.
Of course, I've worked extensively with the governor on a number of things, including the issues we just talked about, but especially on fighting child trafficking.
For the record, I think he's closing out very strongly.
Yep.
And I'm very supportive of all these things. Now, a lot of it has to do, I think, with a team approach we have here in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And the team is the leadership in the House, Speaker Sexton, Majority Leader Lamberth, even Whip Johnny Garrett, for instance, and the team that we have in the Senate. Primarily, the Ken Yeager, and then the state Senate Majority Leader, Jack Johnson, and the Attorney General's office.
Yep.
See, they've all worked closely together. And to have legislation that is meaningful, A, and B, will withstand the inevitable challenges.
Having Skrmetti is vital to this whole team.
Because they all are working together as a team. Minnesota, they never will up there. They're working against our country.
Exactly.
Here in Tennessee, we're working for our country. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in education here in the Tennessee General Assembly. He's Aaron Colbinson. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Everyone, EJ Haast here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Aaron Gulbison, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, executive director of the Tennessee Conservative Coalition, and the man who knows what's going on in the Tennessee General Assembly. All the buzz. They all talk to Aaron. He knows the scoop, some of which he can actually share with us.
I was going to say, that's one of the reasons they talk to me a lot, is not all of it gets out. But you do get some fun tidbits. And
you screen it. And there are certain things we can say and certain things that we would like to say, but we aren't going to say because they're either rumor, we haven't backed it up, or, it's just like too embarrassing for certain people.
No, I do. I think you would agree with what I'm about to say, which is I think that, and when it comes to my opinion, I probably give the most unvarnished political take on
that would
than
be
anybody
true.
else in the state, probably.
That would be true. Now, let's talk about education.
Yep.
The bottom line is America's public schools are absolutely failing.
Mm-hmm.
Basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. The proficiency levels, even in the state of Tennessee, only 40% of fifth grade students are proficient in reading, writing, spelling, and mathematics.
You got to get them off their cell phones.
Yeah, well, that's one of the elements to it. There's more as well. But the point is that the teachers' unions don't care about that. The teachers' unions care about themselves. I'm just being blunt about it. And they have been opposed to the real thing that has changed education performance has been competition.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that in many other states. And that's why you've got these education scholarships that go out now, passed, big push. It passed last year, and it's been in effect. 20,000 kids, K-12 students, have received scholarships of up to $7,300 to go to private schools. Now, in context, there's about 950,000 K-12 public school students. So this is a little small thing. But the law itself would have automatically increased from 20,000 to 25,000. I think the governor and the speaker and majority leader in the Senate, Jack Johnson, want to increase that number to 40,000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there's some opposition to it. What's this all coming down to?
Available money. The opposition coming to it is from the teachers' unions and their puppets. But, I mean, what the final number is going to be the available money.
So we're talking about like $140 million from last year, right? And they've set it up so that it doesn't hurt the budget of the public schools.
Right.
Right. So it's already going to increase by 5,000.
Yeah.
And which would be, if you increase it by 5,000, that would be another $35 million or $175 million. That's baked in.
Yeah.
For 25,000 students. If you want to increase it to 40,000, that would be $280 million. So you're telling me that the budget issue is, do we have that extra $105 million to go from 25,000 to 40?
That
is
simple.
That
it?
Yeah. How significant is the budget issue?
I mean, listen, so to give the brief overview of the budget process, they're going to go through this for about 2 months. This is what's going to happen. At the end of the day, the House and the Senate negotiate.
And there's a deal is cut.
And a deal is cut on the final budget. There's a lot of things that you have to go through. There's a lot of, you have the governor's budget, then you have the director Probst's budget. There's a lot of other things. Excuse me. I've literally talked probably for 20 hours over the last 2 days. So I'm having one of those.
We're going to eke out the last 10 minutes
we're
of your voice.
We're going to run out the clock here.
On your voice.
But so essentially, we're going to have the answer for this in a couple months, and it'll happen. And now this is one of the biggest priorities, and I think that a lot of the random bills that may have fiscal notes might get tossed to the side, as they tend to do. But this is definitely one of the top priorities in the state. So I think we'll get as much as we'll probably get to that 105. We'll see, though.
I think we probably will, because the state's the budget's in pretty good shape. But let's just go talk about the process, because the bills, it's already a statute that it'll be 25,000 kids this year that get these scholarships. To make it 40,000, they'll have to do an amendment or another bill, I guess, which would then go through. Just walk me through the process. In the House, it would have to go through the K-12 Education Subcommittee first, which Kirk Haston, the former basketball player at Indiana University, for Bobby Knight. I think it was Bobby Knight.
Has anybody ever asked Kirk if he's ever had a chair thrown at him?
I think Kirk is a very happy man these days.
Yeah,
because of the great Indiana University football story. Won the national championship undefeated 27-21 in a very good game Monday night. But it's got to go through the K-12 Education Committee. Then it has to go through the full House Education Committee, which is chaired by Mark White of Memphis. Now, Mark supported school choice.
Yes.
He's got a background as a teacher, and I think he is a very friendly guy and very friendly to, let's say, the more established teachers organizations and superintendents organizations, but a thoughtful guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's come out one way or the other on this 40,000 thing. He's probably being cautious about it, I would guess.
Well, when the Speaker of the House endorses it, you better.
Okay. Well, the Speaker has endorsed it.
Yeah, Cameron said. At one point, I believe Speaker Sexton said 50,000 new spots last fall. So obviously, but yeah.
Are you suggesting that Speaker Cameron Sexton is taking a page from Donald Trump's Art of the Deal?
I mean, given the amount of time he's spending with Stephen Miller, I could see that certainly happening.
Yeah. So are they like hanging out together? Are they? I mean, Steve Miller is an intellectual powerhouse.
I don't know Stephen Miller. But I don't know if one just hangs out with Stephen Miller, so I don't know.
I will tell you this.
I know someone who went to high school with him.
Yeah.
And the person I know from the entertainment industry, because California. And he is a liberal, hated Stephen Miller because Stephen Miller was an America First conservative back when he was like 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a funny little tidbit.
So here's the thing about Speaker Sexton. Because his demeanor is sort of Tennessee nice, I think. He's not, his behavior is not inflammatory, very steady.
Yeah.
I think people underestimate him because he's got an iron will. He's also, and I've noticed, I've talked to him for years and years and years. He's a very thoughtful guy who, thinks through these issues.
Mm-hmm.
But once he's decided this is the way to go,
yeah,
you can't turn him away from it. So I think that's what we're seeing in process on the House. On the Senate side, Education Committee, Don White is the chairman there.
The fabulous Don White.
And I think that she's, in the House side, it has to go through the subcommittee and then
you just go through full committee in the Senate.
It's a longer process. Yeah. But on the Senate side, you just have to go through the Education Committee. And I think Don White is very much on board with this, from everything I can tell.
Well, remember, you're still your final spot before all the floor and everything is on a budget item is, the Finance Committee. But, yeah.
Talk to me about the budget. That's a good point. Okay, so it has to go through all of these, the subcommittee in the House, the committee in the House, and the committee in the Senate on the education. Then it goes to the budget. Who runs the budget committee, and how are they going to look at this?
In the House and the full budget committee, it's Gary Hicks. There's a subcommittee there. And then, listen, at the end of the day, when they're finalizing the budget, they do all the hearings, they have all the meetings, they get all the solicitation from the members and the feedback and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's Bo Watson, the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, and Gary Hicks and leadership of their respective chambers in a room going, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, if you're trying to punch your way through a rock by, lobbying member by member of the Senate Finance Committee or the House Finance Committee against school choice, you are engaging in a Sisyphean task.
Ooh,
so
I like that literary reference.
It's kind of silly. So it's just listen, it's the leadership on both sides. It's the governor, and
so for our listeners, a Sisyphean task. This is the ancient Greek tale of Sisyphus, who tried to push a boulder up a hill.
And the boulder, and this was his eternal punishment, the boulder would roll down, crush him, and then he'd have to do the same thing at the end of the day. He'd have to do the same thing all over again the next day, yes.
There you go. All right. Now,
and that must have been what it was like being married to Hillary Clinton.
Boom. By the way, just as an aside.
Or Mary Kate Brown. Well, I'm not understanding. What? Who said that?
So, speaking of the Clintons, do you see this? Yesterday, the U.S. House Oversight Committee voted, I think it was 28-15, to recommend contempt of Congress charges against Hillary Clinton, and 38-4 to recommend contempt of Congress charges against Bill Clinton. Many Democrats joined.
Yeah.
Now it's going to go to the full House. I think they're going to get a positive recommendation.
They should. I think our friend Steve Bannon might have some strong feelings towards this one, but yeah, what's he going to do though? Be like, I did not get that.
There's one rub in the whole thing. If they are tried for contempt of Congress before a jury in Washington, D.C., you will see jury nullification.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Now, where does that need to go? There is a recommendation, which I think is right, is we got to change the structure of the court systems so that that the District of Columbia is not the federal district court that has jurisdiction over the United States Congress.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you see this also from Elon Musk? He said we need to get rid of the Home Rule Act in D.C. I think that's right.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, 92% of them voted for Kamala Harris, and you're not going to get a fair trial there at all whatsoever. Now, another thing I agree with on Elon Musk. When we come back, guess what?
It'll be News Potpourri.
News Potpourri. He's Aaron Gulbranson, head of the Tennessee Conservative Coalition. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. The website, TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. Back after this.
Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, Aaron Gulbranson. Aaron, It's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program where we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and have a touch of
irony.
Irony. Well, this isn't irony. It's just a warning. So it's Thursday afternoon. The temperature's at high 30s right now. It's not raining. It was a little foggy this morning in Middle Tennessee. But wait, there's more. Supposedly, and I think this is likely to happen, Friday night, it's going to start snowing. And Saturday, snow, maybe sleet, maybe ice will build up, and Sunday as well. So if you've not gone to the grocery store, you got to go. And if you don't have any reason to go out and travel Saturday and Sunday, don't do it. Here's a programming note. We might have a problem Monday morning.
Yeah.
So if there's a power outage or if the roads are too slick, it's possible that we may do a best of program.
Now, I can tell you the most frequent conversation happening in the General Assembly over the last 24 hours is what are they doing next week because of this storm. So
that's the way things work. And, you know, in Middle Tennessee, you know this, you're from New York. A snowstorm in New York, you've got an infrastructure to support it. People know how to drive in it. You don't have an infrastructure here in Middle Tennessee.
No. Oh, God,
and
no.
People do not know how to drive in it.
No.
So the best thing you could possibly do if there's a bad storm is have enough food to stay in your house for a couple days.
Yeah. Now, if you see somebody driving down the highway with their window down and a cigar, that's most likely me.
Most likely
I
you.
know how to drive in the snow.
Yeah, exactly. I do as well. All right. So we've got another story here. The Board of Peace. Trump is doing that. I think he's doing it to basically say, the United Nations, you're worthless. I'm going to run things from now on. What do you think?
I mean, it's true. The United Nations has been worthless. We should have pulled out of it probably after the fall of the Soviet Union. No, I love it. By the way, did you? I kind of got one. Did you see the Fox News op-ed from Paul Levesque, a.k.a. Triple H from WWE, who happens to be on the President's Physical Fitness Council?
Tell me about it.
So, you know, it's very common sense, talking about how we need to start making sure the kids are healthy before, and, you know, work out and all the other common sense things. But it made me look further into who else is on the President's Physical Fitness Council. So, of course, you have WWE there, but the NHL commissioner, Gary Bettman, is on there. I'm doing this from memory now. But my favorite notice was American hockey player Matt Tkachuk from the Florida Panthers, who will be participating in the Olympics, is on there as well, which now brought me fully into picture when I was watching the Florida Panthers visiting the White House the other day.
Yeah,
and how you
America
could see
first.
how
Yeah.
buddy Matt Tkachuk was with the president. So
I got one for you. Do you remember this disgraced founder of this biotech company, Theranos? Her name was Elizabeth Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out to be largely a fraud.
Yeah.
Well, not largely, completely a fraud.
Yeah.
She's serving 11 years in prison. She's currently scheduled for release in December of 2031. She's asking President Trump to commute her sentence. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, Joe Exotic asked the president to commute the sentence. There's a number of just crazy things and silly people. Of course, the amusing one was when P. Diddy did. But
oh, yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay, remember the shooting in Uvalde, Texas?
Yeah.
And apparently the school officer was cowardly.
Mm-hmm.
They tried him for basically being a coward. Found not guilty on all 29 counts.
By a jury of his peers.
By a jury of his peers. So, okay, there you go. Hey,
I mean, OJ wasn't guilty either, but you know, there's that. So
yeah, I know, but still, it's a tragedy.
No, it is.
And he didn't act properly, but okay, you know, that's come and gone. There is a very interesting story. Elon Musk, he went to Davos for the first time. What do you think of that?
Well, he went with the president, didn't he?
Did he? Did he go with the president? The guy's worth $800
But he'd
billion.
never been to Davos before?
Yeah. He's worth think about that, $800 billion. He gave $6 million to Memphis schools, though.
So, by the way, I just find this an amusing thing. So, obviously, Davos, the World Economic Forum, don't like what the organization does. The president goes there to do his thing and pretty much just pull the wool, beat them up, right? But Governor Lee recently had a meeting with people at the World Economic Forum in Tennessee. There were people on the internet blasting Governor Lee for that. Where are they blasting the president now?
It's crazy. Hey, I got some Babylon Bee headlines. You ready?
Yeah.
College team credits football championship to discipline, teamwork, and $370 million. Yeah, Minnesota arrests churchgoers for interrupting protest.
By the way, do we know what a Hoosier is?
Yes, I can tell you.
Okay.
It's a tautology. A Hoosier is a resident of Indiana. Supposedly, there was in the early 1800s, even before it became a state, there was a black preacher whose last name was Hoosier, and somehow that came with it.
Okay.
So, but there is no such thing as a Hoosier other than
right.
somebody from Indiana. That's a weird little deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's crazy.
Because, Leader Lamberth, when he was tweeting about the game, because he's a big sports fan, he's like, I have no idea what a Hoosier is, but I'm rooting for them tonight.
Here's another Babylon Bee headline. Democrats warn ICE crackdowns will make illegal immigrants afraid to vote.
That's a good one. Also, probably was that the Bee or not the Bee?
The Babylon Bee, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because they have their. I mean, they don't update it as frequently, but their real news section where it's not the Bee. I mean,
Another Babylon Bee headline. We'll close with this. Donald Trump tells the European Union, it's time we start seeing other continents. I love those guys. Aaron Culbertson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it as always. It's
All
always
right.
fun.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. Our website, TennesseeStar.com. Rob Carson is up next. Thanks for joining us.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
FlatFeeNashville.com, FlatFeeNashville.com.